Hey YouTube, I wanted to make a video today about red flags I think my doctors should have seen. First of all, my age. I was 15 when I started transitioning and hormones. Um, and I just think that's way too young. It brings me back to the point I made in my first video that I was saying that I didn't want to be a woman even though I had never experienced being a woman. So the age just doesn't make sense. And not to mention, you cannot sign up to be a lifelong medical patient at the age of 15, or underage at all. In fact, I think you should have a lot of therapy and counseling before you make a decision like that. And at 15, like, I hadn't even lived long enough to go through that. Um, the second point I think is my diagnosis of borderline personality disorder. This should have been a huge red flag. First of all, my symptoms were so severe that I was diagnosed that young, like it was obvious. Um, like I was not well. And I feel like they just ran, I don't know, with the trans thing instead of helping me with that. One of the marked characteristics of BPD is identity disturbance and lack of self, um, frequently changing identity, lack of identity. That is a huge part of the diagnosis, and like it just wasn't a red flag to them. It wasn't a possible, like, oh, it could be a symptom of this already diagnosed thing. That, and it had taken me years to get diagnosed, and like many therapists and many psychologists. Whereas with being diagnosed as trans, it was just like one doctor in a 45-minute appointment, and I got my letter in 15 minutes. My third point is that I had anorexia at the time. This is a body dysmorphic disorder. Like, I literally didn't know what my body looked like. I weighed 90 pounds and I thought I was huge and didn't deserve to eat. Like, I didn't even know what I looked like, literally. Um, I I just don't think if you have a body dysmorphic disorder like anorexia or EDNOS or anything like that, that should kind of disqualify you from being trans because you don't connect with or properly see your body, and that should have been a huge red flag. Um, I and this is going to get a little bit more into the surgery and stuff rather than just giving me hormones, but because of the BPD and my home and family situation, I was also self-harming a lot, and I was frequently going to the hospital for that and suicide attempts and stuff. And so I was just clearly very unstable at the time. And like they just let me make decisions like that would affect my whole life when I didn't even want to be alive. While telling me that transitioning would make me not suicidal. Um, you know, it's just wrong. I wish I had gotten the treatment I needed, but it was so much harder to find treatment for BPD and for anorexia than it was for being trans. Being trans was easy. Like going to the doctors and transitioning was easy. Yeah, those are just some red flags. I hope other doctors will listen to this and see it in the future, or other people who might think they're trans. If you identify with any of these other diagnoses, maybe take a look at them first. Thank you for listening.